All right, let's talk about silver and creating a photorealistic silver texture in 3ds Max and V-Ray. Now, I've got these reference images up, and the thing with silver is you have a lot of yellows coming in here into the metal. So it's it's not like steel or something else. There's a lot of yellow which comes in. You can't see it so much here, but I think that's the lighting. Here you can see it, the edges. Here it's yellow. Here there's yellowish coming in, yellow tinge everywhere. So here on these edges here, there's yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to recreate that, but we're going to do a photorealistic one with correct fall-offs, and we'll use the open shading language OSL as well on this. And then we'll add a bit of tarnishing to make it look realistic. When you're looking at silver and you're going to do the fall-off, let's first of all set this to 65.65. And this shows us the red, how we want to create that curve. So inside 3ds Max, what we're going to do, just go to Maps, General, Fall Off, plug that straight into the reflection map. Now for this, we are going to make the diffuse black and put on Show Background in Preview and turn off Fresnel. Double click on the Fall Off, close the Mix Curve, enable Color Map, and go to RGB, and then let's turn off green and blue for now. We're just going to work on red, and this point here is 0.98, and I like going for the bottom one here. There's 0.97, so it's almost a straight line, but not quite. So let's just bring like this one, 0.98, add in a point here, right click, bring that down, 0.97. Smooth, and that's red. So next we're going to go to green. So let's do that. Come up here and just type in 55, and then come down here, and you can see you've got something slightly different here. So that's 0.983, and this is, I'm just reading the middle one there, the P polarized. That's 0.965, 983. Let's add a point here. 965. That's smooth. Okay, and then 45, which will give us the blue and yellow amounts. And again, we've got 0.98, and then over here, 0.967. Oh, sorry, I haven't got it turned on. Make sure you turn it on. 98, as in the point. 967. I'm just going to change the glossiness here. 0.7. Let's check a look. Actually, at 0.7, it's still too, you can see too much of the reflections. Okay, so that's photorealistic silver with a fall off. And let's do it with an OSL texture. Just go V-Ray, OSL text. Plug that into your reflection. Double click on here, and we need to navigate. But basically, if you need to do this, what you need to do, go to this page from Chaos Group, and you need to download this, and then you need to download that and save it, and you need to put it somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. I've used my root directory for Macs, but then you have to navigate to it here. So just doing it now. And we've got this. Now it at least knows it's a metal. Now again, in here, do the same thing we did before. Set this to 65. Just going to copy this, Control C, Control V. And I'm just going to copy these over into here. And then you go to 55. That was red, this is green. And this is the exact wavelengths of the metal that we're trying to create. And then you need the blue wavelength, so just go 45, and this gives you blue. And that's it, and that's photorealistic silver. Let's do a quick render. Alright, now this is photorealism, and this is silver in its pure perfect form. But silver pretty easily gets tarnished, so you rarely actually see it looking like this. So, you know, if you've got some new silver thing going on and some new silver jewelry straight out of the shop, then yeah, create a texture like this, put it on there, and it'll be perfect. If we look at the reference images, see this is tarnished, and you get this yellowness on the corners here, on the fall-offs. So what I would do is just take this and just bring this down a bit, just a touch. Maybe a touch more. And then activate the green and take these 2 points and bring those down a touch. And I'd probably, let's just take these, lift these up a bit, and take the blue and push that up. And then take that down, take the green down. Alright, let's see what we've created here. So in my mind we've got a bit too much golds and reds going on here, so we're just going to bring this up a bit, and this one up a bit. And let's see if we can get this more like that. Alright, let's create this again. Really, I want the center bit being silver, you know? I want to see the yellows on the edges. So now we have this goldy color coming in here. Just touching it. Now this has even more yellow in it. So let's try and match this a bit closer. It's also less glossy. Bring all of this down a bit. It's too much red. Not enough yellow going on there. Just push that up. There's a chance that this here is too much, you know? There's too much gap between the blue and the green. But this fall off means you'll only get these color changes there, so you get them here on the edge, and then the very edge it'll go white. See, that goes white there. When it moves straight on, you get this color. I think I've made it too not reflective. This is higher than that, so. Make it 5.5. Now this is much closer to this tarnished silver over here. And this is what I'm trying to go for, so now we just need to add in some textures. You know, if you zoom in on here, you see some worn and detail and stuff like that. So let's add in some textures. Okay, that could work quite nicely. Let's just put that in here. Let's make the whites white, and the black's black. Okay, save that out. Ten's normally good enough. I mean, you can go higher and get more detail, but I find 10 is pretty good. Gives you some nice idea of what's going on without making it too large. So we're going to take this fall off and we're going to take a composite. So if you just come here into general, just go composite and drag that straight in. Oh, sorry, if you don't get it straight in, you can just join it up afterwards. Add on an extra one, plug this in, put that onto multiply. And if you start to render, you'll instantly see that has an effect. So let's stop that. Let's get some more grungy texture in there. That's pretty nice. Let's get that. Let's Photoshop that a little bit. Problem with this is it's too dark and it's too noisy. So we're going to go filter, blur, just Gaussian blur it. Straight 10. make it black and white. Make it brighter. Something like that looks pretty nice, actually. Grunge 2. Let's put that on. And again, we'll put that on multiply. So just add another layer up here. Change it to multiply. And go back here, and grunge 2 is here. Let's put that straight in there. And let's see how this renders. Nice. Stop that. Reference images. Now, here you've got darker, and here we've got black. If I show you, if I go over this, just render that, this will be black. It's not the same silver, but darker. We can make it the same silver, but darker, but then we would have to make it this color. You know, it's black and white right now, so we'd have to take that and make it that color. So what we can do is, let's take a fall off, and let's put that into layer 3 instead. And let's set that to, actually we're going to put this one down here in layer 3. So that goes on to multiply, and this one here we'll just put it on overlay. Just makes it a little bit brighter right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring these colors right down. So here, just bring them right down. And let's change it. Let's try multiply. Okay, great. See, we get the color there. We're getting black here, and the black is coming from this diffuse. So you can change the diffuse. I often change this color of the diffuse, and you can change it to a brown. Now the problem with that is now you instantly see it doesn't look good. So you got to bring this down. You just don't have to make it black. You know, you can bring it down low. You can bring even the saturation up. You can bring it right down. And then what we'll do is we'll use this map to mask this out. Put it here as a layer mask, but we want to invert it. You know, right now it's saying, okay, this doesn't appear where the blacks are, but I want it to appear there and not where the whites are. So we're just going to go here into output and invert here. So that's inverted it. And now that's made, you know, if I render this now, this same little section, you'll see that's now brown. So that now matches the photo. So we have all this darkness in here. So it matches that close to there. Obviously, you know, mine's blurry. What we'll do then is we'll add another layer, and we'll plug the same one into layer that new layer. This can go into layer 4. Layer 4 set to multiply. Okay. And actually we can put that there and invert this. And then what we need is we need one more layer with lots of detail, sharp detail going on. So this can go into layer 4. And we're going to use a Bercon noise in here. Or a noise. You know, I'm going to use a Bercon noise. If you don't have this, you can get it from GitHub. Right here. And you can download, clone or download. And you can download this and you can install it. There's other tutorials showing you how to install it. It's pretty awesome. I'll show you here. We'll just plug it in here. Let's make this size. Let's try 600. Just so you can see what's going on. And if I bring down the lights here, this applies to normal noise. If I bring down the light highlights here, it'll make the whites further down, and I push up the lowlights. The contrast, you see how the contrast changes? And that's what we're trying to do. I can just open preview window so you can see what's going on. And then it's on Perlin 3D. You've got all of these choices. 2D, 3D, 4D. And then you've got Simplex. But with Simplex, it opens up all of these different fractal types. It looks pretty nice. If we push the lows up, push those highs back up too. Let's make that back to 1. You know, I only want this darkness through in specific places. So we get that. Level set at 3. Let's try that at 7. See, that adds in. You see all the detail there that came in? Basically, it's another layer on top. 3, that's 3 layers of noise. 1 is 1 layer of noise. So you just can add in the noise, the layers onto it. And 7, it's normally pretty good to get something looking nice. And now, if we render this. Now, right now, I've got all of these noises and so on all coming in the same color, right? Noise and the bitmaps. All of this is coming in with that same brown. And there's no variation here. I want to see some variation. So what I'm going to do is on this fall off, I'm going to add another composite into this fall off here. Change material map type, maps, general, composite, keep old map as submap, add in another one. I'm going to use something similar to this Bercon noise here, and we're going to put this in here, layer 2, and layer 2 is going to become multiply. What I need is I need these to swap. So this low can go back to 0, and this high can go down to 0.1. But this multiply here is black, and I don't want black. So let's pick this, and then make that darker. Great. Okay. And then let's just see when we render, see what we get. See if we get some variation going on here. No, but what we need to do, see if we put this up to 4, let's just see what happens. Oh, let's change the size. I was going to make this 100. Let's do render, F9. Great, we're getting that detail coming in. And this is at multiply, so let's change this amount to 30% or something. And then you have some detail coming in to that. Alright, so you get the idea. When you're layering a metal or any material, you don't want to be just adding things in for no reason, you know. Here you can go, okay, this looks pretty complex. But it isn't really. There's a fall off. The fall off comes in. Multiply just means it darkens it by this amount. So layer 2 is multiplied with this color, which is very dark. And then we got a mask, so it's only showing in the whites. And then here, the same multiplied, and another mask, and multiplied again, and another mask. But the problem is there wasn't enough detail, so we went in and we created another composite on multiply, and we did another noise. So you've got, really it's simple. Even though it's multi-layered and all this stuff going on, it's a simple material to look at and figure out what's going on. Alright, so let's add in some other detail. So let's see if we can find fingerprints. Not that sort of fingerprint. Let's do texture. Alright, so here we've got this grubby fingerprint. Let's use that. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Okay, maps. Take that straight in there. And what we're going to do is just drop it in here. And I'm just going to take the fall off, plug it straight into the reflection. And then we're going to take this and we're going to plug this into Anisotropy. And then let's see how that looks. Okay. Let's try something else. Now that's in Anisotropy. You can see the weird effect it's having here. And let's change the rotation. You can put a map in rotation as well. I've just changed it to 45. So the reason I've plugged this into Anisotropy is because normally what occurs when you touch a surface is it leaves oil behind, and that changes the way the light reflects off the surface. So the closest you're going to get to reality is plugging that into Anisotropy. I think it's a bit dark, so we're just going to edit it in Photoshop, and we'll work from there. I'm just darkening it. Bring this up. Make it about there. Try that. Okay, we should start to see something now. We can start seeing it here in the render. I'm just going to stop this. See if we can get some more fingerprints going in here. Just raise this up to there. And now you can see a lot more detail happening here, a lot more occurring. So we should see that in a second. Just makes this more definite. There's things going on here, going on there. There we go. So those fingerprints are looking more like fingerprints should look. And what's happening here is it's bending the light. So again, it's acting realistically. Here, it's not, it looks a bit like a bump, but it isn't. There's no bump occurring. It's just bending the light in a certain way. Fantastic. Love that. Stop this. Plug that back in. And if I plug this into reflection glossiness, what do I get? Complete craziness. In options, we've got glossy Fresnel. And what this does is it puts a fall off into this reflection glossiness. Okay, and the fall off is something like this. Like that comes up to here, and this clicks on there, and Bezier smooth, and it's like that. Metals don't have the same reflection here as on the edge. They are normally more reflective on the edge. And so glossy Fresnel, knowing this, in the material now you can click glossy Fresnel and that automatically puts on a fall off, something like this, into the glossy Fresnel slot, into the glossy slot. So as you adjust this, it actually has a fall off, and it's not just a set number like 8 or 5 or 4 or 3. It's not that all the way across. You don't get that same glossiness all the way across, and it actually does increase on the edges. Knowing that, we can start here, we can turn off glossy Fresnel, and we put a fall off in here. So this does the same as that button. And then we can take another composite and put it on there, layer 1. And let's just plug this fall off straight into the reflection map, so we can see what's happening without all this detail going on. And then really, I'm probably just going to increase this, make this one multiply, plug that straight into there. The problem with this now is because it's been inverted here, right? That's been inverted. So what I'm going to do is put an output map, the same as this. It lets me do that again. So I can just go maps, general, I can grab an output, put it in here, and then just invert it again here. And that gives me the original map I had uninverted. I mean, I can also just take this down, turn off the invert, and plug that straight in there as well, and that'll be exactly the same effect. But personally, I don't like having the same map in 5 or 6 times. I see people sometimes, they get a material and you got the same map again and again and again. And I don't like it so much. I like having one map once and not again and again and again and again. So here we can see where the reflective glossiness is changing, and I'm quite liking that. I think one more layer in here and we'll be good. So what we'll do is, let's take a look at this. We don't want that one. What we'll do, we'll just add, double click on this, add another layer, and let's find another grunge texture. That'll work perfectly as well. Alright, let's take that. We'll put that in here. Just put it into maps. Whack it on here. Put that straight into layer 3. Change that to, that's the overlay. That's too reflective. Let's try multiply again so we just get the darkness. Let's try soft light. I'm not sure I like how reflective that is. Let's reduce the amount of it. Let's put this at 50%. Okay. And let's take a look, see what happens. Okay, I'm liking all this detail coming through. So at this stage, what we're going to do, we're just going to finish this off. Put that straight into the reflection slot. Take this bitmap. Again, I've inverted that, so we're going to grab an output, put it here, plug that straight into here, and put that straight into the bump. And I think we're going to do a composite on the bump. We're going to add in here. If I invert that, let's invert that back. And we're going to add here this output one here into there. And that's it. That'll give us an awesome silver material. Let's render that.